Hello YouTube, this is Asatsu5. I've gotten a request to do a spyderco catalog after I filmed my Cold Steel catalog video. And I got two spyderco catalogs. I got the 2015 product guide and I got the 2016 mid-year new product guide. I'm going to go through the 2015 first because it has a lot of stuff that's not in this one. Although this one I'll get to this one in a separate video. So let's get started. First off, spyderco does an amazing job with their catalogs. Look at this cover. It is beautiful, and it's, you know, it's just awesome. Spyderco and Cold Steel make awesome catalogs. So I'm not a big fan of the police just because of the grip. You know that I love the full flat ground blue Endura. It's VG10 steel. Let's get to something interesting. I've gotten requests to either do the Mohawk or the Civilian on a meat cut test to review it, or maybe the Mohawk too. The thing about it is, it's interesting to me. It's a lot of money to spend on something that I really don't have a lot of use for. I don't foresee myself carrying it on a daily basis, and I know the Civilian has problems with the tip breaking, and I think the Mohawk has a stouter tip, so it would be a little bit better. But still, I want to test it. It's just I don't really care for the knife. And I'm trying to not get things purely for YouTube reviews. I'm trying to get things that I truly am going to enjoy. I'm trying to spend less money, save up money, and you know, build my bank account up. So it's going to be, if it's something that I truly am interested in, I'll get it. But if it's something that's just a curiosity, I'm probably going to stay away from it. Love the Cricket for what it is, and my brother has one. He got it on sale. I have not yet to get a Cricket, but it's a cool knife. It's a cool kind of thin, low profile, dressy kind of you know, knife, and it has a cool blade shape. The blade shape is relatively aggressive looking, but it's not so that it's gonna like freak people out. Military. They got the fluted military. I guess they decided against the flame anodization. Let's see. I don't want this video to be too long because then it'll take several hours to upload, so I'm going to just stop at the things that I'm interested in. Rescue knives. This is the rescue knife section. In my opinion, everybody needs a rescue knife, and I know I'm kind of a hypocrite because I have yet to get one, but I have my eye on one, and like I said, I'm trying to save money. I technically have, you know, a knife in my vehicle that I can cut people out, but it's not a rescue knife. It's not a sheep's foot, so I'll just have to be careful about how I cut people out of vehicles. But think about it. What is more noble? What situation would you rather be in? Would you rather rescue someone from a car wreck, or would you rather be in a self-defense situation and have to potentially kill someone? Now, I'm not saying that one makes you more of a hero than the other. I mean, if you rescue someone in any situation, you're a hero. But I'd much rather rescue someone from a wrecked vehicle than potentially be in a fight. And I think a lot of emphasis is put on the tactical photo and how you need to carry one for self-defense and stuff. But the rescue knife doesn't get a whole lot of press. And really, I think the rescue knife is a very, very good addition to your collection. You keep it in your vehicle, like on the visor, your sun visor. That's where my brother keeps his, and you can cut seat belts, cut people's clothes off without potentially hurting them. And I will talk more about the rescue knife that I have my eye on in the Salt series. Good. Salt series is my favorite series of spyderco because it has the H1, and I usually like. In fact, tomorrow I'm going to the beach. I'm going to be taking my Pacific Salt because it's rust proof and it's fully serrated. It does all these awesome things. It's high vis, so I love the Salt series. It's probably my favorite series from spyderco. Don't want the tusk. Got the Pacific Salt. Oh, actually, that's the Salt 1. There was the Pacific Salt. Something to note on the Salt series H1 blades. H1 is austenitic steel. I hope I said that right. That means it's work hardened. So the more you work it, the harder it gets. Kind of like copper. I don't know if you ever got a piece of copper and you start bending it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then it snaps. That's because it's getting harder every time you bend it. So H1 is a relatively soft steel. Well, it is a soft steel. It should theoretically bend 90 degrees without breaking. I haven't tried that because I don't want to break my H1 knife. But the plain edge doesn't hold its edge as long as the serrated, because the serrated has been worked, it's been ground on. So the serrated edge is actually harder than the plain edge. So keep that in mind. Plus, if you're going to have a saltwater type knife, you're probably going to be dealing with some kind of straps and fishing line, rope, so on and so forth. I think the serration is the good way to go when it comes to a beach knife, especially since this H1 is going to be harder. It's going to keep its edge longer than the plain edge. They got a black bladed Pacific Salt. I gotta admit, for a black knife, it looks pretty good. I did not mean for that to sound the way it did. I tend to stay away from black knives, at least black on black knives where everything's blacked out. But I like how the logo, it kind of stands out. Okay, here we go. I would like that rescue knife. It's the Assist Salt. It has all the features that the Assist has, and it just is made from H1 and it's high-vis yellow. Has the carbide glass breaker. I think it has a whistle, and it has serrated edge. Has a little bit of plain. It does not have the hood though. I kind of wish it had the hood on it, the Cobra hood. But yes, this is going to be my rescue knife at some point or another, and I'll keep it in my vehicle and hopefully not have to use it, but I'd much rather use that to cut someone from a seat belt than this. So, I mean, this can get a seat belt real good, but the person's already having a bad day, no need to make it worse. Rescue knives are cool, and it's good to see that spyderco's put a lot of effort in designing rescue knives. By the way, this is a sheep's foot, not to be confused with a Warncliffe. Let's see if I have a Warncliffe blade nearby. Doesn't look like it. Oh well. Basically, the difference between a Warncliffe and a sheep's foot is that a sheep's foot has no point. The Warncliffe is similar to the sheep's foot, but it doesn't. But it comes to a point. I thought I had a sheep's foot, not a sheep's foot, but oh, here we go. This is a Warncliffe blade. It actually has a piercing point. Sheep's foot. blunted. Can't stab with it. I hear people use the terms interchangeably, and that is wrong, and I just wanted to point that out. Sorry it took me so long to find my case knife. Those look like good folding knives. I'm not the biggest flipper fan, but those look legit. I like this Rubicon. Now, I've seen some poor reviews on it saying that, you know, once you get it in hand, it's not as cool as it looks in the catalog. It won 2014 Blade of the Year, or Imported Knife of the Year. But I love the carbon fiber with the orange pivot ring. Blade shape is alright. I don't really care for the blade shape, but I love how it looks. And I like aesthetically pleasing knives. Tenacious. They're cool. Firefly's cool. Centofante's cool. Sages don't look like much in the catalog, but once you hold them in the hand, you realize they're cool. The Kiwi. I like this Kiwi because it has a pocket clip. I love the Kiwi blade shape. It's a Warncliffe. Go figure. It's just this particular Kiwi, well, Kiwis in general cost a good bit. I don't know how much this one cost, but it costs a lot more than I think it should. The clay, I never actually held one, but it looks like a good knife. ZDP 189 super steel. I don't think it's technically a steel, but it's an exotic steel. But it's ridiculously hard. Kind of cool to see Spyderco make a friction photo. Remember the Rhodey? They actually started making it, but the Rhodey was designed when TSA decided they were going to let people carry certain knives on airplanes. And then everybody freaked out and was like, oh, we got to make a TSA approved knife. And then just like months later, the TSA was like, we decided not to do this. And everybody was bummed out. So that was what this knife was designed for. Since Spyderco already designed it and I guess started production, and like, yeah, I guess we'll keep it in the lineup even though TSA screwed us over. Don't like that knife, the double bevel. I don't get the point of it. The Tatanka, maybe if the Tatanka was made from H1, I would get it. But really, it's cool because it's a competitor to Cold Steel's 5.5-inch folding knives, but it's not as strong, and it's a little bit shorter than 5.5 inches, I believe. It is, forgive the dog, blade length is 5.05 inches. So you get a little bit less reach. Sasmo photo is pretty cool looking. Sasmo Hawk, cool looking, but I really have no use for them. If you like the RMJ style tomahawk, you know, I think the Sasmo Hawk is a good, cheaper alternative. You don't get the spike, but you know, you do get an integral tomahawk that won't break on you like a traditional tomahawk could, or even the fast hawks or SOG tomahawks. Ooh, the Ethnic series. I like the Ethnic series. A little bit disappointed in the buoy. I haven't held one yet, but I can tell it's going to have the same issues as the Navaja. I own the Spyderco Navaja, and it was one of those knives, like, once I got it, I was like, hey, this is a cool knife. It's very pretty and everything. And then once I started using it, like, the more I used it, the more I hated it. And that's because you have this wide, blunt area right here, so when you try to cut something from the heel to the tip, you often get snagged right here. I know what Ed Ship was going for. He was going for the buoy number 1 look, except buoy number 1 didn't have the S-guard, but the buoy number 1 had kind of a weird angle, and I think he was inspired by buoy number 1. Yeah, this Ship buoy is I don't see it being a cool knife. I mean, if you have it and you like it, that's cool. I personally think I would hate it once I got it in the hand. Even though I love buoys. Fixed blades. Shimp-Rock is discontinued, I believe. It would have been cool if they made an H1 full flat, or not full flat ground, but flat ground rock salt, but they didn't. And in fact, when Spyderco came out and said they were coming out with the rock salt, let's see, where is it? There's a picture of it in here. The picture they used of the rock salt had a flat grind on it, and then just right before they released it, they changed the picture to a hollow ground rock salt. Jumpmaster was cool, and I'll talk more about that later in a separate video. But they say this is like one of the highest performing cutting blades that they have, like its edge retention and its cutting capability is, you know, surpasses most of their lineup. The Aqua Salt, it's a shame that they came out with a full black version but not a yellow version. They came out with the yellow version several years ago, and I saw that Nothing Fancy had one on his desk. At least that's what I think it was. And I was waiting for him to do a review over it before I was really familiar with knives. And he never reviewed it. And so I never got it. And, you know, they discontinued the yellow one, which is the one that I would have liked. But I don't want the full black one. Just because when scuba diving, I want to be able to find whatever I drop. I want my gear to be high vis. I want to be able to find it. So the enough salt to me would be a decent dive knife or whitewater knife, something that you can use around the water or boating that won't. Well, first off, it's a sheep's foot. Secondly, it's fully serrated and high visibility, so you won't lose it as easily as this black one. The weld rescue blade is now available to the public, I think. You know, they've had this blade for a while, and it was only available to certain people, and it looks like that they released it to the public, which is cool. That's like the biggest chunk of H1 I've ever seen, and it's fully serrated. Spirit runs. Okay. Sharpening system. This might be the end of the catalog far as knives are concerned. I've always wanted a Bellio, and I haven't gotten it yet. So it's cool because you can flip it in public and people won't freak out, even though I can legally carry a balisong. I need to get my balisong repaired, my Benchmade. Some stuff broke on it and I haven't gotten around to fixing it. The board knives. Never owned a board knife. I kind of like the concept behind them, but none of them really spoke to me. Plus, why get a board knife when you can get a Tenacious? Spyderco is really good about defining stuff in their catalog, defining different blade shapes, defining the grinds and edges and steel element charts like this. Tells you what each of the elements do and what percentages of those elements are in the steel. Handle material, mechanisms. That's it. That's the 2015 catalog, and it's a cool catalog. I want to make a separate video for the mid-year new product catalog, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm Asatsu5, and I'm out.